What's up, everybody? Ruben Garcia here, and I do what I call real estate CIA, where we focus on coaching, where we focus on investing, and where we focus on the agent side of the business, where we're in like 16 plus states currently. So let me take these off. Just real quick, check that out. Isn't that cool? If you want to know if the eXp Shareholders Summit 2022 was a bust, maybe some of the stuff we learned, maybe some of the stuff that they even bragged about, make sure you stay tuned in because I'm about to go over all of that. So one of the people I actually had the pleasure of talking with and discussing a few things with was a man named Alex Howland. He is the co-founder and the current president of Virbela. He went over a few things. Now, at least what I have found, eXp has done a really good job of finding other ways to where you can get paid as an agent. And that's no different with Virbela. If you bring an account to Virbela, you can actually get paid. They have an affiliate program. So that's something I learned. I made a video called the 8 ways you can get paid at eXp. There's really 9 because they came out with dividends shortly after that. If you want to check that out, but really it's just starting to grow more and more and more that there are more ways. I mean, you could really start putting this into your database and do different types of call to actions to see who may be looking for an off-campus, out of the brick and mortar solution to be able to meet with their people and have discussions. Like the universities are using this as well, and you can actually get paid. So I thought that was pretty cool. I was very interested of how fast Virbela is growing, which is only one of the companies that EXPI owns, which is the ticker symbol for EXP World Holdings. But 2010 it started. 2014 they launched the Business and Education Campus. 2016 EXP became their first private company. 2016. Tell me they didn't already start to see the vision of where this whole thing was going. 2017, an early adopter was Stanford Business School. 2018, it was actually acquired by EXP because it was only 2 years till EXP was like, you know what, let's go and bring this thing on board. We think that our agents would adopt to this, saving overhead and liability and all that. 2020, I think we all know what happened 2020. It brought a flood of business because people started to realize that they didn't actually need a brick and mortar to run their business. Not everyone, of course, restaurants, and I'm not that is we totally understand that. But in terms of a lot of other businesses, including real estate, you don't need a brick and mortar. You saw a lot of people who did. They were having layoffs. They had to shut down the building. We kept running. We broke all-time records during the pandemic of 2020. So it exploded, which obviously the stock price exploded as well. What else I think is interesting is that what I want you to do is look at these current clients that uses Virbela right now. That this is so brand new, but we already have these large companies who already have it. And, I'm glad that we own this thing. Other breakoffs is Frame, which I learned a little bit more that you can actually create your own metaverses within Frame. And also a company called JVT, which deals with the military, which of course being from Fayetteville, Fort Bragg's right next to us. That means a lot. A lot of our agents are military clients, everything else, both active duty and veterans. And that's so cool to even know that that's even a part of it. I didn't even know that till I went to the eXp Shareholder Summit. So that's another piece to the whole pie, which is Virbela and EXPI. Another cool fact, within Frame, 1,000 frames is what they're calling. These rooms, these metaverses. 1,000 are being built a day. And now that seems mind blowing now, but fast forward 5 years, what do you think it's going to look like? So we will be adding. Listen, I'm going to play around with it, and it probably something we'll add as a value proposition for our own team to kind of help them create that. And what's pretty cool is you can actually brand those rooms as well. You put your logo in there. It could be spinning. You could also use your logo as a link too, and it could be a sign-up page. It could be your buyer list. It could be really anything. So it's pretty cool that you can create this metaverse that you could actually throw on like an Oculus or something like that and walk around in there. But you could also click things that bring you to other spots. Anyway, it's just I didn't realize how deep they are in terms of the metaverse side. It's crazy. So the general session, off the hook. And we will, for the nerds like me, we're about to dive into some numbers. So pay attention because this is literally mind-blowing, some of the stuff they went over. So let's get started. And they said something that's pretty cool, which is like the compensation model here, 5, 10, 15, 20-year careers, you can't touch the compensation model here. As you heard earlier, there are so many ways that you can get paid. And then you have a company that has the type of numbers that they have and the growth that they have, which I'm going to go over here in a little bit. They said that, and I was like, you know what, you're right. I haven't even been here for 5 years. It has completely changed us. So what is 5, 10, 15, 20? Oh my, I can't even imagine. So for them to say that this compensation model is just, this is where the agent should land, it's crazy. So let me get into some more numbers for you. I think one of the biggest mic drop moments was when they said, guys, we have this much debt. We have zero debt. This is $1 billion company with zero debt. And we're moving into a market that's shifting right now. It is June 23rd, 2022. We're heading into a shifting market with a company with zero debt. Think about that. Once you start to think about it, you realize that we don't have to access any capital for growth. We have our own capital for growth. So we don't need to borrow money here, start bringing in more capital for that growth to hire new talent and all that. No, we got it ourselves, and we got it with no debt. And then Glenn Sanford came on and said something that was pretty cool. He said, we intentionally keep the board small, so we have no choice but to stay agent-centric. Think about that. They don't want this bureaucratic board. He intentionally keeps it small to make sure that we're agent-centric. I just thought that was a pretty cool piece. Think about this. So Michael Valdez, the president of Global Growth, joined in 2020. It's 2020. 2 years later, we're in 21 countries. Think about that. Man, I know I keep saying think about that, but I mean, it's explosive growth. Let's just keep going. So the goal is 500,000 agents, 50 countries in 5 years. We're my V friends. We're my V, right? 555. Isn't that crazy? 500,000 agents, 50 countries, and in 5 years. Let's see if we can hit them. Let's go ahead and go over those numbers. All right, so I'm going to show a few charts. Number one, check out the operating expenses. Look at this. Let's go ahead and look at year-over-year growth through agent count. Look at that chart. Which one seems like it is exploding with growth? Now, when you look at these charts, because you also have transaction side growth as well year over year, obviously you see that EXP is leading the pack on that. But what's interesting is if you look at it even closely, the transaction count is actually beating out the agent count. So yes, we're growing substantially through agents, but we're also closing more deals than the agents that. You see the growth and the difference in percentages? Transaction growth is beating agent count. Interesting. Now I'm going to go over the revenue growth of year over year on this next slide. And then I want you to ask yourself, are we best in position to invest in our company and also our agents? Check this out. So you got revenue growth year over year. Look at that number, almost 300%. The next company is trying to get to that 200%. Then you look at the debt. This is the drop of the mic. Check it out. Look at the debt. There's only one company up there that has a fat zero in it. And then, think about this. Look at the other companies. How long have they been in business? This is a company that's really just getting started. We already have zero debt. Tell me if we don't have some smart people on the board right now. And with all the stocks and all the red in the market right now, I don't know. No financial advice. Looks like things are on sale. What's great is that EXPI is the ticker symbol. It's the stock that we own. EXPI owns many companies. So here's another flash of what EXPI owns. Some of our tools and services, and our EXP partner solutions as well. So again, as you look at this and as you think about this, yes, we're real estate agents, help people buy homes and sell homes, but we get free stock, we get discounted stock of EXPI. And when we do that, we not only get obviously the sales of the EXP Realty side of the business, we also get the benefit of all those other companies growing as well. So now we kind of look at a year over year, a quick snapshot of the month over month as well of May. Check this out. We are up 275% of agent count month over month. Bonkers. One of the biggest metrics that we would look at when I used to be the CEO of a Keller Williams office is, are we 10% higher? Do we color it green or I think it was red or yellow or something, but green if we pass the 10%. I don't know what color we would use for 275%. And then again, now you look at the transaction side month over month, May versus May, right? 389% we're up. Tell me what color we use. I don't know. crushing it. And as you see again, the percentage is beating out the agent count. So we are very productive agents. Stoked. So then, we know numbers are the language of business, and we ask ourselves, man, so what's the growth rate? What's the growth rate? You got agents over here, you got transactions over here. Overall, what's the growth rate? Oh, I don't know. 409%. Now, don't lose your minds. If you're driving, put your seatbelt on too, right? Like, buckle yourself in. This ride is on a rocket ship. We crushed it last year. Our month-over-month and year-over numbers are even. Let's go to the next numbers. Now, this next slide I'm really excited about because this is the commercial division. Now, we have one of our awesome agents that just got certified on the commercial side as well, and a few others that are coming on board on the commercial side. And this is why we're making a big splash in the commercial industry. And I want you to see this chart. So if you look at this chart, check it out. You got all the large companies that have been in the business for over 100 years. Look at number one, been in the business for 115 years. Number two, 35 years. 35 years. Under that, 105. All right, so then you start to ask yourself, all right, so when has EXP commercial really been kicking up and going? We're 1 year, and look at that. We're in the 11th place. Look at the number of years these other companies have been in business, how many brokers they have, and we're already number 11. If you are a commercial broker, please DM me. I want to talk to you more about this opportunity. It is mind-blowing. Do you know we have a cap? We have a cap on the commercial side. The monthly fees are so low, it is ridiculous. And this is why we're starting to see a lot of agents not only look at that residential side, but they're like, hey man, tell me a little bit more about this commercial side. It's very, very intriguing. And you're seeing that. You're seeing a lot of the big players move from the other companies to this company. Numbers don't lie, and this chart proves it. So I'm gonna bring up this next chart, and remember, former CEO of Keller Williams, where 10% or higher was amazing. Like, high fives, you almost get congratulated at regional, 10%. So I want to bring up this next slide and keep that in mind. All right, so check it out. You got 2021 revenue, $3.8 billion. How much are we up year over year? 110%. Then you look at the other one, 2021. Look at that, gross profit up 85% year over year, net. Oh yeah, no one talks about net. Talk to these big producers who are real estate agents. They're like, yeah, we did this much in volume. No one talks about net. Let's just bring up net. We are up 162% net income year over year. Then look at the other numbers. You got EBITDA. And what is that? Well, I'm going to go ahead and put the definition up here right quick. So check that out. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So that's what it is. What is earnings before? And then it goes in deeper. I will keep a link below. But look at this. Even that, we are up 52% year over year. And then you look at the operating cash flow. We are up 109% year over year. We'll keep going, but man, am I hammering this thing home that this is a growing company that has to be one of the fastest growing companies ever in the world. So then we looked at those numbers prior, right? The year over year numbers. And last year was absolutely amazing for us. Broken all-time records, up year over year and month over month, and all the numbers are shooting up. I shared some of those on the EXPCon video as well. But let me just share a little bit more. Check it out. Q1, just Q1 of this year, we're up 73% in terms of revenue, up 56% year over year in terms of gross profit, up 83% year over year in terms of net income, up 19% of the EBITDA, and then we're up 53% year over year in operating cash flow. Guys, we are only in Q1. Q2 is not even done yet. Look how much up. What do you think? How do you even think we're going to end this year? Ask me more, ask me more, ask me more. Let's keep going. So now that you've seen those numbers, let me just go over something else. Did you know that type of growth, how much money do you think we poured into advertising and everything else in order to get that type of growth? What if I told you, same thing we teach all our agents too. If you're one of our agents on our team, which we got a huge team, but you know what I'm about to say. This is all organic. This is exactly how we teach our agents to grow their business. We lead with revenue. We don't go spending money on buying leads and all this. It's very organic. And guess what? Those crazy numbers that you just read, that you just saw, all organic. And you know what's interesting is we are seeing right now companies buying agents, and you know the companies that are doing it. Shoot, you may be one of the agents who have tried to be bought by one of these companies. We haven't bought any agents. Can you believe that? With that type of growth, we have not bought one agent. So we don't buy agents. And check this out. As the market starts to shift, those companies right now that are talking about buying agents and buying agents and buying agents, you can't buy. We have no debt, right? Think about how over leveraged they're going to be in a down market. We will expand while the others start to collapse. And this is just one of the legs that prove that. Fun fact, we're the only real estate company that pays dividends. Okay. Then we had some really big news. July 1, in about a week, we will confirm it will be done deal July 1st, the acquisition of Zoo Casa. Now, some of y'all, and this is a little bit more north, right, and Canada and all this, you may have heard of this company and what they do and the leads that they provide. We will finish the acquisition July 1st. Now, I wonder, what will we be using this company for? And will our agents benefit? Guess we'll have to find out. Then Jay Shetty jumped up, which, completely transparent. I didn't even know who Jay Shetty was before going down to eXp Shareholder Summit. Then I got bombarded and almost like humiliated that I didn't know who he was. So I looked into him and I was blown away. My wife is a big fan. A lot of our agents were big fans. He came up on stage and crushed it. He talked a lot about something called connected thinkers. And he broke down a few examples of how businesses have decided to stick with the same old status quo because that's how it's always worked type of conversations. He broke down examples. He broke us all into groups. It was a whole thing. Only to come to find out, think about it. When you're in a room with connected thinkers, people who do what they have to do to pivot, they allow the conversation of other agents' ideas. Remember what Glenn Sanford said earlier that I said, there's a very strategic path and system and formula that he's created to make sure we stay agent-centric. Now, why is that? The more you listen, the more we're able to pivot, right? If you close your mind and you don't adapt that mindset of adaptability, you will fail. And he kept giving example after example of the companies that have decided to stay the same. And when they do shift, they shift and follow the path of a company that's dying. And I know of a certain company that's doing the same thing right now, and I think it's a good move. It's just interesting. And I'm stoked to be aligned with somebody who with a company that thinks and acts different, completely different. I was talking to somebody and they were like, so explain to me about what EXP is. And this was on the plane ride home. I said, imagine a traditional brokerage flipped upside down. As long as it scares people and as long as it disrupts the thinking and the market, it's probably the business to be in. I got a shirt that says lean into disruption. There's a reason why, right? It's because we have adapted that. And I'm surrounded by connected thinkers who have adapted that as well. So after our mind was all blown because of the numbers and just that, I guess that confirmation of security and how much we really are taking over this game, we all just took a deep breath and then we went into some more of those breakout sessions. I was lucky enough to host a lot of the breakout sessions in what they call track, and was able to introduce one of the original sharks on the Shark Tank, including the president of Global Growth and his whole team, commercial division, and a few other people. It was super fun. And I implore you, man, to keep yourself uncomfortable and keep moving into rooms that you feel like you don't belong in. I think that's where the biggest growth happens, is when you start moving into things that you don't feel like you are qualified for. So keep doing that, and I'm going to be there to root you on. But one of the rooms was about finding talent. And they specifically started talking about the brokerages who have moved over. And I'm not talking about some small brokerages with, a few agents. No, they were talking about, these brokerages with $2 billion of volume being done that moved over to EXP, to this company that had hundreds and hundreds of agents that moved over to EXP. And the common theme that it seemed like that was going back and forth was that, a few things. One, their ego got in the way a little bit. Okay. And then because they, it's their baby, they kept saying, this is my baby. Like, I've created this thing. It was very hard to give it up to someone else. But most of them, what they said was, you know what? Once I got out of my own way, my own thinking, my own like self-reservation behind all of that, I started to realize that by not making the move, I've made a huge disservice to my agents. Because what happens with the agents is at some point they will be capped. They will be capped. And I love my boutique brokerages, but they will be capped at some of these firms because of the innovation, the technology, the support. In terms of the broker owner, the liability and the overhead that they don't really need to stress over anymore. All that's well taken care of and leveraged for you. And that's what they talked about. And so I'll play a few clips so you could watch, learn, and maybe get something out of it. Again, if you have questions, put it in the comment below or DM me. But I think it'd be awesome to share.
That was a good opportunity. One thing I will tell you though, and this is a good thing when you're talking with KW agents, what I had no idea is that I was handcuffing myself in an ownership position in a franchise. So I was held hostage for 5 years trying to get out of that. So that might be something to think about when you're talking to people that are considering going into a franchise.
So I believe that's it. Guys, you know what to do. Please like, please share. More importantly, share. Like, I don't even like a lot of the videos that I watch, and I love the videos, but I do share them. I share them with like-minded people, people who need to hear it, people who maybe aren't thinking the way that I'm thinking, but they need to hear this video, that they need to see this video. Please share. That's all please share. And also, if you do have any questions, I don't want to leave you, thinking like, man, what did he mean by this? Or what did this actually mean? I could connect you with the right person, or I might be that right person. Don't sit on it. Don't think about it. Don't get ready to just ask me. I got you. I promise. So comment below or DM me, and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. And me just kind of talking through this, I tell you what, for the ones who reach out to me and have a true question, you really feel like you need this. You need this growth. You need this leverage. You need to get rid of that maybe the headache and the overhead and the stressfulness, and maybe you're not even profitable, or you're barely breaking even, but it looks like you're doing well from the outside and you're just stressed out and all of that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring one of you with me to EXPCon. So just DM me so I can kind of build this out, really find out who really needs it. Or maybe, I'm just thinking through this, but maybe it's more than one ticket. But I can't tell you how much I want to help you. I've seen my friends hurt, get strained. It's been a lot, right, to watch some of these friends go through this. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen anymore. This company has been so good to us, and as long as you lean into it, we got a system to teach you how to lean into it. You won't be left alone. But I want to help you, so that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to give away some EXPCon tickets. So please comment below, DM me, share this video, and I trust that this brought you some value. And I'm going to put a couple other videos, maybe the EXPCon video, in the description below. So if you want to just learn a little bit more about this company, but DM me. There's more information below. Have an amazing day.